Hello and welcome to my personal progression task 2 live recording. You can find the PowerPoint on my task 2 if any of this does not appear clearly in post. We start with the 5-year plan, and in year 1 I plan to take a gap year trying to prepare myself for higher education, such as mentioned in the first year, I will continue with my acting lessons, honing my skills as an actor and a creative in both the film and theatre industry. I will continue to make work and promote it on my main social media platforms that you can find on my website, such as YouTube and Instagram being my main ones. I will continue working, but will try to find an alternative job with a higher pay or more stable for my age, with plans of moving out. Finally, I will look at beginning to apply for drama schools, with Lambda being my first option because they're one of the only ones that post-COVID do face-to-face auditions, and I feel that would be a lot easier and a better show of my character and acting skills. In year 2 and 3, if I have managed to pass the audition process to drama school, I firstly will go on to complete the 2 years or so, depending on which drama school, with different schools offering separate final exams, with some giving the opportunity to impress and acquire agents after the final exam, which would be a great help, but not all drama schools offer this opportunity, so I would have to look into that a little bit more. And in year 2 and 3, alternative, if I have not managed to pass the audition process for drama school, I will continue to work towards getting into drama school over the next few years until I am successful. I will look at career paths I could take to sustain myself for the years to come, which at the current top of my list is car salesman, as I'm quite into cars. Finally, I will again continue to make work when I can and applying for grants. So, same film process, YouTube and Instagram, but trying to find ways to get funding for it. Year 4, I will have hopefully left drama school if all goes to plan in year 2 and 3. During year 4, if I don't already have one, I will start searching for an agent to help me get sorted for the industry. My main goal in year 4 is to return to the workforce and pick a job I see myself doing for a long period of time. Again, car salesman. I will return to my social media platforms and recreate what they were like in year 1 and year 2 and 3, where I would consistently upload my work. And again, I would be looking for grants. And stepping back a bit for the agent, getting me sorted for the industry, that would be obviously work, sorting out headshots and stuff like that. In year 4, I will investigate education for contingency careers, with that being car sales. I would take a higher education in advertising at university. I haven't quite looked into that yet, and finally, I will begin to step into the TV industry with my agent helping me find work. And finally, in year 5, hopefully I'm solidified in the industry, hopefully making work. Year 5 will be my debut year in the industry, as me and my agent will look for roles to play in the industry. This will most likely be non-stop until I get a solid job, a solid role, shall I say, in the industry. I will continue to work as I had in year 4, so I will try to create more content. I think it will be, again, as you see below, it will be less consistent as it has been in the past, but that's with the reasoning on top that I will be looking for bigger roles in a bigger industry. Next, we move on to the skills audit, and we have a link here. There we go. So we have camera operating, a 6. I know how to work the equipment to a decent standard. I know certain techniques and I can get good shots, but I struggle with keeping the camera stable, as it has been mentioned to me quite a few times, as I seem to have like some shaky tendencies when holding a camera without support. I know how to put footage together for editing, but I'm lacking in the basic skills and struggle when given a new technique. I think that can go across the board for post-production, and I will have to have a talk with my tutor about this to see if I can get some extra help, maybe. Organisation, I've given it a 9. I like to keep my work in an easy to access area whenever I need and know what I want on set, and I separate my work quite nicely, whether it's online or on paper. I quite like my things in place. Directing, I've given a 7. I feel like I have a good creative vision and can create that vision to a good standard. But when instructing my team, I fail to get through to them if things get stressful or more difficult than I had originally planned. Communication is a skill I really need to work on. I've given it a 3. I can communicate well towards the beginning of a set, but again, as I've said, when it starts to get more difficult and stressful, I tend to lose my patience quite quickly, and I struggle to reach my my cast, my crew. Lighting, I've given a 5. I know basic technique, but I lack lots of experience. I know I can set it up to a decent standard. I can see what I can put it up to the director's liking, but again, really lacking experience in that area. Teamwork, I've given a 5. Depending on which role I take, I can be a good team player. The exception being director, as I tend to get a little bit over defensive of my ideas if they start to go off track, again with the stress and the difficulty. Sound, quite similar to lighting. I have little experience in sound, but know how to work the equipment, but only on an average level, which is what I should have put for lighting. Cinematography, I've given a 7. As mentioned, I feel like I have a good creative vision. This aids me in being able to craft creative shots and see what the director wants from me, but I would be limited by the same things that hold me back in camera operator, which are those shaky tendencies when holding the camera and then needing to stabilize them in editing. Producing, I've given a 6. As I've said before, that I am good at organising, and this is a vital part of producing. However, I'm not good at communicating, again, as mentioned before, and getting a team to work together well. Again, with the directing and stress, it seems to get to me quite a bit. Sound, I have said, similarly to lighting, I would like to have more practice in the role of sound, and again with lighting, and can do by so taking part / aiding someone in a smaller project. I could also do some research to deepen my knowledge in this field, and lighting, it follows the same pattern. Editing, I need to seek support from tutors, as mentioned, or colleagues to get certain basic skills done. With a few of my colleagues at Confetti already helping me out with editing a current short film I'm working called Drunkirk. And as I progress to start to gain advanced skills until I reach a skill set suited to make a final edit I can be proud of, which is what I'm hoping to achieve with Dunkirk. Camera operator, I can invest in a shoulder rig slash mount, which gives me strong support from my shoulder, with a cheap price tag ranging between £25 to £60 for a basic shoulder rig. Although, as we'll see later on, I've come to the conclusion that I could get very attached to this. But it is still, in my eyes, a good investment for most shots. Director and teamwork I've put together as I feel, and I could have put communication. Actually, we won't cut there. Director and teamwork I've put together, with my main issue in this field being communication and teamwork. I could have put communication with them too, but communication is more, it's a struggle across the board. Ways I can improve not only as a director but as a team player. I can sit my crew down individually to find how they feel they deserve to be treated on set, allowing me to then incorporate this into my communication on set. I can also, which would help with my lighting and sound, take smaller roles in the film and understand what it's like from their point of view, working in their shoes, which I've seen with sound has actually been quite helpful. I've worked on sound and I've gotten a lot better with the sound crew when working with them. And then communication. To deal with my frustrations on set, I can first find a calming mechanism in which I step away from set to take a new innovative approach to the set, again incorporate the feedback from my crew, and then get back to the task at hand as a team. And on the calming mechanism, I have actually worked with my therapist on this, and it's called a positive anchor. And if I scratch my head, which is something I normally do, it brings a positive memory into my mind. It almost triggers it, and that's how I've managed to calm myself down on set, and it's actually worked out really well. My career roles, including actor, writer, and director, and although not mentioned here, cinematographer as well. Using my skills audit, I think my focus must be teamwork and communication, as it holds me back as a director, and also, in all fields really, because writer, I'm not going to be working alone, and I need to take on board other people's ideas, and writing can get very stressful. Acting, I need to work alongside my cast and my crew, and especially the director, because again, I can understand someone's creative vision, but I also need to communicate them well and understand them well enough to know what it is. And as a director, I need to be able to talk with everyone on set in a way that they can work with me. As a director, I must be able to work correctly with other crew members, as mentioned, and listen to the ideas expressed from even actors. If they have something to chip in or improvisation, I have to be open to that, because it's not just my film. As a writer, I will have a team where everyone will have an idea to express. For this, I will need patience and hold on to my ideas as I continue to take the notes on what is being said around me until it is appropriate to speak. So there will be quite a few people who have their own different opinions, and I have to accept that. It is a natural thing. It's a natural thing for a writing crew to have all these ideas, and all I will need is patience to wait for an appropriate time to give my 2 cents on the matter. As an actor, I will have to, on top of what has been said, take on criticism or feedback to then self-evaluate and incorporate all the comments made into my performance. This is the same across theatre and television. More so in television because I have lots of chances to self-evaluate. If a comment is made, it will be a retake, and I have all those times where it will start to get annoying to the rest of the crew if I can't get it right. So there is more of an element of stress, I think, in television than there is in theatre, to take feedback on board and to then incorporate that into my character. Now, moving on, we have the SWOT analysis as my final document. You can find all of these on my presentation that I have linked in my task 2. So the skill I've started with here is teamwork. Again, one that's been mentioned quite a lot today. I enjoy working in a team because it almost allows me to toot my own horn and show off my ideas, because I quite love just allowing my mind to create some pretty wild ideas and listen to the team to then build around and upwards to a fleshed out idea of a film or short film or episode. I'm good at collaborating at the idea stage of pre-production and production, but again, when starting to film, it starts to get a little bit stressful from there on. Again, I sometimes find it difficult to navigate, this being the weakness, I sometimes find it difficult to navigate different personalities in a team and struggle to communicate with the things that get difficult or stressful. And by personalities, each crew member is going to have a different character, and whether I dislike the way they're talking to me, there's not much to do about it except trying to work around that and trying to find common ground. Opportunities, it would help me to get more experience working in different fields of the team. So if I swapped with the said character that I didn't like the way they spoke to me, I can then see what it's like for them on set. Again, putting in their shoes to see how I can navigate and communicate with the team. It can also improve my understanding of what it's like to work there, and again, give me more experience in that field, whether it being sound or lighting. And the threats, I will obviously have constant competition in whatever field, and will have to reason with my team to get the experience, whilst also allowing other people more diversity. This one seems quite difficult to me because a lot of people are going to be set on what they want to do, and getting people to shift on that is going to be a difficult process, which is why I'm going to have to reason with them. Communication, I find it quite easy describing my ideas and giving a good description of my ideas, allowing people to picture the idea very clearly, which then gives opportunities for constructive criticism and ideas or changes from the rest of the group, allowing me to then add them in and maybe even change the idea and see whether it looks better their way or my way. The weakness being, I sometimes find it difficult to differentiate criticism from constructive criticism, whether it is to help the group or to help build the idea or build on the film, or if it is just to take down my idea altogether. That might sound a tad insecure, but it's my weakness. I have plenty of opportunities in pre-production to work on this. With every idea I come up with, I can sit everyone down and ask for everyone's individual opinion and ask them to give reasoning, which will give me a great insight into whether it is criticism or constructive criticism and whether their intentions are pure. If the feedback is only negative and not constructive, it will only lead to more confusion and more insecurity. On top of this, it doesn't give me anything to build on and no changes to make to the film if necessary, if something is disliked about it. Writing, I've put as my next skill. I can create a vivid story, an idea, and then convert it to text to create a clear image of my own imagination. My weakness, I sometimes allow myself too much freedom and can end up creating an overloaded script, basically meaning that my idea has gone too far and it ends up being chaos, really. And my opportunity is in every pre-production session, I can ask for someone's help to collaborate on a script with me to keep the script contained. Again, this is great experience for working in a team, as I would as a writer. The threat being with the distance between me and my peers, it could be a hassle to work on a script giving together whilst giving feedback, as I struggle to work online and most of my writing peers live quite a distance away. And I've finished with my final skill being camera operating. I know a wide range of techniques and can picture a director's vision well to show it on camera. I struggle with keeping the camera stable, which has been mentioned multiple times, when doing freehand. I can use equipment such as tripods or shoulder rigs to help stabilize. But again, my threat would be that I could become over-reliant on this equipment, which won't always be used. So I could always revert back to the editor giving me notes on that it is too shaky, or that they've struggled to stabilize it in post, and that is mostly on me being the one who's made the camera unstable initially. And that is the end of my presentation, as you can see. Thank you for watching all of these 22 minutes, or 23, and sorry for the pencil thing falling at the end.